It was 1994. A family bought a ranch in Utah to escape to a quieter life outside of the city. And within months, they were terrorized by something they could not explain. We're talking about Skinwalker Ranch, 500-acre property in northeastern Utah. The property had been vacant for 7 years before the family moved in. The Sherman family consisted of Terry, Gwen, their teenage son, and 10-year-old daughter. One of the first things they noticed upon moving in was that the house was heavily fortified. So nothing was coming out, and more importantly, nothing was getting in. Now, when I think about Utah, I think about Salt Lake City, I think about the Utah Jazz, I think about the Mormons. I don't think about houses being fortified as if the apocalypse was happening. One of the first incidents that they had was when they noticed a canine-like animal approaching the ranch. It didn't approach the ranch like an animal usually would. It paused at about 50 yards, and it slowly approached as if it was tracking down its prey. Terry was close to 6 feet tall, and the wolf was at his chest. The wolf was muscular, intimidating, yet it was also very tame. So they petted it like it was their dog. But soon enough, the wolf took notice of Terry's corral that held all of his calves. And the wolf's genetics immediately kicked in. I mean, think Three Little Pigs, Little Red Riding Hood. Think of those scenarios. The wolf was completely locked in. And he was locked into one calf. The one that was a little bit too curious. The one that just stood by the gate, just staring. As if he was mesmerized or under a spell. They foolishly tried to attack the wolf or at least pull him back. And Terry realized there was nothing else he could do, so he told his son, "Hey son, go get the 357. When I say 357, I'm talking about 357 Colt Magnum. Those of you that know about weapons know that that gun is not for play. It's meant to lay down whatever it's aimed at, right?" So his son runs, get the gun, he comes back. Terry loads it, shoots the wolf. The wolf is unfazed. Completely unfazed, and this isn't a 22 caliber pistol. This is a 357. Wolf unfazed. So Terry shot him 2 more times. The wolf released the calf and he walked off, but he didn't walk off normally like a animal would after it's been shot. An animal would scurry off. This wolf walked off with a swagger. I mean, a wolf walked off like he was still in control of the situation. He walked off on his own terms, right? Terry shot him again before he hit the horizon because the wolf turned around and stared at the family. Still unfazed. Wolf kept walking and stopped about 30 feet away. He told his son, "Go get the rifle. This is a rifle that he uses to kill elk," right? So he shoots the wolf again and again and again, and even to the point where it's removing flesh, but the wolf just kept going. So Terry and his son realized that, hey, this wolf might come back and seek revenge. And there's already something that's different about this wolf. So Terry and his son followed the tracks with that rifle for a mile. And the tracks disappeared. And when I say disappeared, y'all, I don't mean the slow disintegration of tracks when you're going over different types of terrain. I mean, they just were there, clear as day, and then they were gone. Now, after the wolf incident, they noticed other happenings around the ranch. Heavy equipment going missing or ending up in odd places. chainsaws, tractors, plows. I mean, it even got to the point where Terry found one of his post diggers in a tree. How does a post digger get in a tree? I mean, if people are trespassing on your property and looking to steal, those items aren't going to show up. They're going to be in a pawn shop. They're going to be sold on Craigslist. They're going to be on Facebook Marketplace. They're not going to show back up in other places. And most of all, not in a tree. So with these things happening and Terry being the head of the family, he was a little bit more vigilant. One night, Terry noticed a set of lights out front, just off of their property line. And it looked like RV lights. But he went to check it out. And as he was approaching, the lights shifted. Okay? Maybe the guy turned or maybe the guy backed up. Right? Then the lights levitated. Okay? Then it disappeared into the sky. Now, stay with me, y'all. One thing that should be noted is that the indigenous people in that area believe that Skinwalker Ridge is haunted. And guess where Skinwalker Ranch is? At the foot of the ridge. At the foot of the ridge. For years, residents have reported seeing Sasquatches, poltergeists, and a variety of unexplained phenomena. For Terry and Gwen, it only gets weirder. Like I said, Terry is already skeptical, so he liked to patrol the property at night. And he spotted a strange craft one night hovering about 30 feet above his property, scanning the ground with multicolored lights. He'd also noticed an orange mass in the same spot in the sky on a consistent basis, and we aren't talking about the sun. And on one occasion, he saw a blue spot in the middle of that mass with blue triangular objects coming in and out of it as if it was an interdimensional portal. And Terry's not the only one that saw things. Gwen saw a vehicle that resembled an RV sitting on their acreage. And a towering man stepped out, 7 foot tall. Think Yao Ming. Stepped out of the vehicle. And Gwen, at that time being home alone, she was too scared to approach. Terry was out of town. So she waited until the morning when her husband would be back. And they went out there to investigate, and they saw unusually large footprints. And at this point, you think it couldn't get any worse, but suddenly, their cows started missing. And they would find them mutilated. And mutilated is bad enough, but they were not just mutilated, they were mutilated surgically. I'm talking about there's no blood, there's no guts. It's a surgical removal. They saw vanishing masses of soil, circular expressions in the ground, aka crop circles. They heard different languages from above. And to me, that's one of the most creepy things because, all these other things, doctors may explain it as you're hallucinating. Maybe there's a higher concentration of whatever chemical in your area and it's causing you to hallucinate. But hearing different languages, that's a little bit different. They saw orbs, obviously, that's usually coming with paranormal stuff. And these orbs were crackling with electricity and interfere with their home's electrical field. So, TVs would randomly turn off, lights would flicker, appliances wouldn't work. It even got to the point that the orbs were such a normalcy that the dogs would try to attack them. One night, the orbs lured the dogs away from the home, and guess what Terry and Gwen woke up to? their dog's deceased. At that point, Terry and Gwen were finished, and they sold the property at a loss. And I don't blame them because they basically went through a paranormal speed run.